Welcome back to my channel, Mechanical Knowledge Quest. We're going to continue on our trigonometry. Now, in our last video, we're able to to prove the formula, a squared plus b squared equal to what? C squared. Now, there is something we call which is ratios of trigonometry. Now, this is the sine of an angle. For example, let's say sine theta. This is the cosine in Spanish, and this is what we call the tangent of an angle. Say theta, Now, these are the ratios. Now, this acronym simply means that for sine of an angle, it must be what? Opposite side over the hypotenuse. I'm going to explain what we mean by the opposite side now. Then, the cosine of angles, the adjacent side of the triangle over the what? Hypotenuse. While the tangent in the short form tan is opposite side of an angle over the adjacent. Okay, having established that, let's try to see a right angle, and this thing applies for right angled triangles alone. This place shows that the angle here is 90 degrees. So we assume we have the given angle here, which is theta. Now, to use this triangle to explain this concept now, the sine of angle must be equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now, where can we find the opposite? The side opposite the angle must be our what? The opposite side. Now, from our last video, we know that the longest side is the what? The hypotenuse. Now, the side adjacent of the given angle is what? Is our adjacent. So we can now discover where, if you given any right angle triangle, you can now know where the sides are, now how to get our sine of the angle. So sine theta must be equal to this side over this side. It's an identity. We have established that our sine theta equals to what? Opposite our hypotenuse, and our cos theta, this is our theta. Our cos theta is what? The side opposite the angle is our opposite. The longest side hypotenuse, and the side adjacent the angle is what? Adjacent. So our cos theta will be what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. This over this. Then our tan theta will be what? Opposite over adjacent. Now let's describe this with our letters we established before. Okay, now given this triangle now, for example, we're told that the side opposite the angle given is our what? Opposite. So in other words now, our B here is our opposite for this triangle. The side adjacent of the angle given is our adjacent, which is A. And the longest side, which is the side opposite the 90 degrees sine, is our what? Hypotenuse. So we have A squared plus B squared equal to what? C squared, which we have established before. Now let's want to derive some trigonometric identities. First of all, let's say divide throughout by what? C. I divide by C squared, by C squared, sorry, over C squared. So from our indices, we know that we have this will be A over C all squared plus B over C all squared equal to this divided by this is 1. Any number divided by itself is always 1. Now, what is our A over C? From what we have explained, A, this is our adjacent, no? It's our adjacent our opposite, and this is our hypotenuse. Now, our adjacent is what? A over C. And what relationship goes, which is what? Cos squared. The angle given is what? Theta, right? Because A adjacent over C hypotenuse. Relationship is what? Cos. Then the angle given, cos squared theta, plus B over C. This is opposite over C over hypotenuse. Relationship is what? Plus sine. The angle is what? Square theta equal to what? 1. So this is our first basic trigonometric identity. It's the fundamental trigonometric identity. And now, this expression is true for every value of theta because it's called an identity. It's different from my equation because an equation is true for one value of x. Okay. Now let's do some other thing. Now, 1 over sine theta is what? Cosec of theta. 1 over sine theta is what? Cosec of theta. Now, 1 over cos theta is what? Secant theta. Now, these are the reciprocal of the angle. It has a name. Then, 1 over the tangent of theta is what? Cotangent or cot. Cotangent theta. Now, since we have established this formula, which is a cos square theta plus sine square theta equals to 1, which is our basic fundamental identity. What we're going to do now, we're going to use this formula to derive some other trigonometric identities. Now, let's say divide both sides, divide throughout by what? Cos square theta. We have cos square theta over cos square theta plus sine square theta over cos square theta equal to 1 over what? Cos square theta. Now, if we divide this now, we have what? 1 plus. Now, how do we get sine square theta over cos square theta? We know that sine theta is what? Opposite over hypotenuse, right? Let's forget about the square first. Then, divided by cos, let's say, assume it's cos theta, divided by what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, how do we simplify this? You know, this will change to times, and this can what? Invert and become hypotenuse over adjacent, which is our cos. So this can go with this. So we have opposite over what? Adjacent, which is what? How we get tan theta. Then we now put the square. That will be tan square theta equals to 1 over cos is what? Sec square theta. Now, this is another basic fundamental identity. Now, after I want to divide both sides by cos square theta. Now, for the third one, we can say divide both sides, divide throughout by what? Sine square theta. From this one, so we have cos square theta over sine square theta plus sine square theta over sine square theta equal to 1 over sine square theta. Now, cos square theta over sine square theta, we're going to do the same thing to get it. Plus, this is 1 equal to 1 over sine square theta is what? Cosec square theta. Now, how can we get this? We'll do the same thing we'll do there. Now, our cos theta is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse divided by what? Sine square theta. Opposite over hypotenuse. Now, for us to divide it, we have to change this to times, then inverse it. So that will be times hypotenuse over opposite. Hypotenuse over what? Opposite. So this can cancel this. So we have adjacent over opposite, which is the inverse of tan. This is adjacent over opposite. Now, but we know that tan theta is what? Opposite over adjacent. Now, if we take the inverse of the angle, which we have this written here, we have cotangent of theta. So we had this cos over sine is what? Cot squared theta. This is the three basic trigonometric identities. 1, 2, 3. So thanks very much for watching. In our next video, we're going to go deeper into some of these identities and see how we can prove some others. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Follow our page for more interesting videos. Bye for now.